Yeah, you can say it.
This is Between Two Mammers episode.
Us.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
You first.
So yeah, who are you?
So I'm Shubham Chhabra. I directed the MAMM last year, a short film Cash Cows, and I heard about it through FOMO because all of my friends were doing it.
Through
and I was
FOMO? Sorry?
FOMO, fear of missing out.
Oh, FOMO, yes.
Yeah. So all my friends were doing it. I watched the last couple of years of screenings, and I just really wanted to, get a piece of the pie.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
I'm Tammy Tsang, and I first heard about MAMM probably a long time ago, like more than 10 years ago. VAFF had a competition called Love Letters to Vancouver, and so I did that with my friends, and we heard about MAMM, and it's always been in my periphery of something I knew that was available in like the indie film scene specific for Asians. And then finally, 2019, I was like, you know what, I really want to do something creative. I come from the union AD world, and it's just, I mean, you know it, you're an AD as well too. We're in a creative industry, but we don't get to create. And so, yeah, there was another AD that I know, Kim Tran, and I had this script, Rocking on Air, that went through 4 directors, and Kim was the final director, and we actually got it done.
Cool. But so as a writer, what makes you choose the director, or how does that collaboration work? Like you trusting your vision with them?
Mostly it's me getting to know the person, because I actually have worked with almost a different director for all of my short films. And yeah, it's just talking to someone, seeing like, are they on the same plane as me of like what I want to tell and how they want to tell it. But usually it's also someone who maybe I haven't worked with before, and I'm like, I really want to work with this person. I want to give them a shot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And like with Lauren Bathroom, you wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
So what did that came from a need of I'll just do it myself, as much of your input as possible in it?
That one, because I'm not actually interested as much in directing as I am in writing. I was like, it's 1 minute. I'll just put my name on it, whatever. And I got selected, and I was like, oh. What will I do now? And then I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try doing it and seeing if I can keep my vision.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But also like for you, like, because you said that you're interested in directing, but you had a chance to write Cash Cows. How was that for you?
It came from a place of like necessity, because like I was looking for a story similar, but like none of the collaborators that I've worked with in the past like had something, so I just really wanted to do it. And I was already doing a documentary that kind of like touches on this subject. So I was like, let's just make a little punchier version of it, that people want to watch in 10 minutes. So that's what it came. It's just the story of the documentary just kind of crushed down into a 10-minute piece.
Yeah.
So it was already kind of like pre-written itself. That's why I didn't have to think it from the start.
Yeah.
And then of course, you jumped on to like give me some really thorough notes, which were like super helpful, because otherwise,
Well, I'm so glad that you took me up on that offer.
Yeah, right.
Like having a chance to give you the notes and then finally seeing it on screen.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, like I found like it looks great.
Totally. Yeah. Otherwise it was like a 20-page just filled of like whatever I thought, but like I think it, helped it cut it down to like 10 pages and
I think you did well too, because some of the notes I had, you as a director, you're like, well, no, I want to keep it like that. Like even like your opening, because I'm like, man, you got a lot here as an AD. Are you sure you want to film all this?
Well, I think that's the challenge, of like shooting it in 3 days, and then also like trying to hit all the plot points. That's, I think, as a writer, in terms of the skill, that's where, that's where I need to work, is like trying to like also think of like the production side. But I think for me, it was like, it has to be this way, and like it will make sense, and I just couldn't find a different way to do it. Yeah. But like for you, it's like, and for Lauren in the bathroom, it's like opposite, because it's like, contained to one bathroom. And for like how does that work in terms of, because of course you want to expand, you want to like get all these ideas in there, and then you're just in this room.
Well, what's interesting is because I think I sent you 2 links. So I've got my 1-minute version, which I submitted to MAMM, and but I always knew I wanted to add more stuff. But in doing that, and this is where I think directing came in as well too, where I'm like, well, what is the script that I have? I have a 3-page script. There's no way I can film a 3-page script and have it be 1 minute. And so it was like, okay, well, what can I get rid of? What is not as integral to the story? What can I keep to make sure that we get the full picture, the past, the present, the future? And then I think this is what helped as us being ADs. I was able to then look at it from like how we shoot it, how can we get everything done? Because that one we actually shot it in 1 day, because it was just so short. We were able to film it all at once. And also the shots as well too. So I think as a director, I don't know about you, but a friend of mine suggested I do a shot geography, like a top-down shot geography of the room. Yeah. Like what can we maximize with the space and with the camera so that we can get multiple coverage with just maybe one shot.
Totally. I think that's when it also comes like you're having the resources to do it, because on a bigger show, like a bathroom's not a bathroom, it's like a full set, you can lift walls and everything, but in your house you're just so limited. So I think that's when you have to be more creative to like find the angles where I can throw this camera that doesn't look similar to the other shot.
Exactly.
I hate you. I wish I was never born. Just leave me alone.
Like the bathroom was my bathroom, like you said. But for you, like how did you find, because you had so many different places, like the used car lot, the pizza place, like how was it finding all those?
Yeah, I think I had like great producers on board. It was like Haley Coles and Helena Riley. So I just kind of told them like, we need this, I'm sorry. It has to be under 3 days and like there's no money for it. But they went ahead and like scouted the locations, talked to the people, and we were able to like score a dealership.
But does it help? Did it help saying like, oh, I'm doing this for this competition, it's going to be shown here? Oh,
definitely. I think once people know that like, oh, it will already have some eyes on it, they're more willing to be like, okay, cool. Like you'll get our like brand name somewhere in there. And it worked out as like the Brown Bros was the car dealership. And as soon as it came out, that wasn't even the joke, but people laughed. I was like, I see where they're making the connection. That was just the dealership we ended up getting. Like as soon as the white shot came up, people started laughing. I was like, I'll take it. I mean, it's a comedy, so I'll take any laughs at any point. But something, I guess a happy accident for the audience. And it's also like the story, I think, I try to push the message that it was trying to tell. And like, while of course, them not being the bad people in it, I wanted to make sure that we're not showing them in a bad light, because they're just so nice to like give us this location on like such a crazy discount. So I just wanted to make sure that they're aware of both things, just like the PR that you're getting, also like the message that the story is trying to tell.
Yeah, and they probably experienced it because it was an immigration story. So they probably, and you've experienced that yourself as well too.
Yeah.
What's up, G? How's life and shit?
All's good, yeah, except,
Bro, मेरे को यार बहुत का टाइम पे है सिर्फ 12 महीने हैगे वीज़े ते मैनू कोई जॉब ना मिली ना स्पॉन्सरशिप वाली मैनू वापस जाना पैना यार बहुत कर्जा चुकिया मेरे पापा ने यार कुछ कर देना
So, we were thinking you could talk to your uncle.
Yeah, I think, and like the funnier part of that is like all the dialogue and stuff in there. It's mainly informed from real life. Like I've went to countless of immigration consultants, and I had shitty bosses, but like it just really oscillates fast between like tragic and like sad to like super funny. So I think just wanted to capture that, and like I think that's what we attempted. I think our cast really did a good job in like.
And it was in multiple languages too.
Yeah, it was in English and Punjabi. Because I think that's how it kind of works in the community. Like people just switch back and forth. So just wanted to like show as it is.
Yeah. It was really cool that like we're able to showcase the authenticity.
I mean, that's where like kind of MAMM comes in, is because I watched my friends do it, and they were able to like express their story, their background, their cultures, and like show it in a way that it's like super well, it's respected everywhere, but it's like welcomed in a different platform than other festivals. So I think just try to do that.
Yeah, no, I think I got coached a lot by, so Kim, like I mentioned, Kim was our director for my first MAMM that I did in 2019, Rocky on Air. And Kim was a great coach in that she's like, these are the questions that we should ask each other. These are the questions that we need to touch upon and focus on, like who we are, why us, why this short. Sure, this is where it came from, but why did you write it like this? It had to have come from somewhere. I wrote the story out of something from within me, and Kim asked me enough questions like, why did you write this story? I think that really brought out more from me and got me to be a better writer and be more cognizant of what it is that I'm writing.
I already made dinner for myself. Good night.
Are you sure? Abba can have ready in 5 minutes. Homesick la?
No, I'm good.
I mean, because you had its opposite as well too, where you wrote first, but ultimately you wanted to direct. So what brought you into getting that story out on paper? How difficult was that for you?
As an AD, like I just kind of wrote it down. Like I was very kind of trying to be mathematical about it, but it's not about that. It's just about the true crux of the story. So I like sent it to friends like yourself, and like got some good notes about it. That really helped shape it. I think doing MAMM just like really made me do it in a timely fashion. Like I knew I had a deadline. I knew I was going to shoot it on these specific dates. So that made me just write it down, because I think otherwise it would have just,
I love deadlines. I think I like that with MAMM and any other competition especially. Like it's so nice because it's like I've got a deadline, I've got to get it done, and no matter what, I'm coming out of this with a film.
Yeah. Shoot in 3 days, cut it in 7 days, and then you got a short.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't like totally confident with the final product, but I think that's an insecurity everyone has to some degree.
Yeah.
I was at least able to like get it out, At least I have a short film right now that people can see, and I can get notes right away, and that helps me make my next project.
And that way you're not always thinking about the same project, and you can move on to the next one, but also you can learn from a finished product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is it like for you, like writing and then shooting on set and then like getting into post after? Are you like, are you that person who just goes into like a sad state for like a couple days, is like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever, and then the editor comes to you, be like, maybe not, you'll be okay with it, just like we just need to reject some things?
Yeah, well, I loved that about Lauren in the Bathroom, because getting it to the post stage, I think that was one of my first times really working with an editor. It was really cool just to hear his feedback, because he gave his own first cut, and I was like, oh, I don't like this part, I don't like that part. There was one part where I questioned why he made that choice. And then he explained, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. I like that, because it gave a different perspective from just being a writer. Because when I did Rocky on Air, I just let Kim do the whole editing process, and I wasn't really part of it as much.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's unique, because I think as a writer-director for this specific project, like for me, I knew what it's going to look like while writing it, and then when we shot it, I knew what it was going to look like when we shot it. But the post was like, it's not matching, like what went wrong and like what's happening. And I think that's when like a third-person perspective comes into play. Be like, no, we can just kind of rejig it a bit. Like
in film school, one of the sayings my teachers had was, plan the shoot the plan.
Yeah.
I personally did a lot of prep work for Lauren in the Bathroom, because it was one set, and it was my first time like really directing since film school. I didn't want to screw it up. But I'm curious, because sometimes some post stuff can always be worked out in the prep stage.
Totally. When I knew I got in, like I just kind of locked off my schedule for everything else. So for 2 months, this is what I was doing, because I also knew it was like a bit ambitious. We were shooting in Langley, and then back in Surrey, and then back in New Westminster.
Oh my gosh.
There was a lot of driving,
so
a lot of logistics, and like a lot of people to kind of be planned around. So it did, like me and my producer, like we just kind of locked off 2 months, and we were just working on it full time. And also like on set, like leading up to it, I was like so nervous. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah.
And then like I'm gonna be not be able to do my duties, because also you have to, like as a director, on a small project, produce yourself too. But I think because we did that work, that on set it was like fun to just like do that, and like we had just great people around us that were just helping. It made like our DP and his team were just absolutely brilliant.
That's
so I think
awesome.
that what helped is just me as a director and as an individual just have a good time on set. Which I think that's like very key, to just like enjoy yourself.
Yeah, because it's all top down.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
If you're having fun, everyone else will.
Exactly. Even though we're shooting at like 3 a.m., but still people enjoying it.
So was Cash Cows your first short film?
It was my first short film out of the film school that was being screened somewhere. So that was like, it took me back to like when I was like a kid in school, like performing something on a stage in front of like thousands of kids. And like it's the same rush of like, okay, I don't know what exactly it is, but like it's like, okay, like it's seen, people like it, people are enjoying it, and it's something that I made for 10 minutes that's given all these people some form of joy, and like and it's also like you get to really know which points hit and don't hit.
Yeah.
And so I think the first time I wasn't really like paying attention to that. So I think the second time I was like really just watching people watch the film, just to like take notes on like what's
the
getting,
reactions.
what are they getting, what they're not getting, So I think that was the main thing.
Yeah, I think for me, for Rocky on Air, it was interesting seeing how people were taken back by the dialogue when the daughter is arguing with her father, and she throws out that line like, I don't want to be like you.
This is my life, Dad. I'm pretty much an adult now, so I don't need to listen to you.
I don't want to waste away my life doing some stupid job with some useless degree for something I am not even passionate about. I don't want to end up like you, Dad.
I remember hearing people like gasp and like, because I mean, all of us have kind of fought with our parents to some extent, and just seeing and feeling that.
Yeah. And there's something to it, like bringing back that experience for them. Because like when I watched it, like last night I rewatched it, I was like, the memories came back to me as well. Because I mean, everybody does it at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's also a point of, because for us as like writer directors, it's a very objective experience. But when a group sees it, then you really see like how
it affects them. Did you have folks come up to you after the screening, saying, like, informing you how they felt about watching your short?
I think people were just like stoked to see that like the characters that are, you know, like so, I guess, in its own way, like authentic to like Surrey or like our community and stuff. Like when people saw even themselves, they were like, "Ah, dude, like I'm a guy with a Mercedes with AK-47 stickers on it. Like I am that guy. Like that's cool. Like, you know, I'm on it." You know, we relate to that experience because like the whole LMIA scam, like that kind of what I talk about. Yeah, it's a very universal experience, and when people see it out there, it just helps them a bit.
And I think it's nice that you showed it as a comedy as well too, because so many of these topics can just be shown from like a very serious, dramatic point of view, but the comedy aspect, I think, adds a little bit to it, in that you're just kind of seeing it for what it is and just shining a light on it and being like, isn't this ridiculous? Like, what's going on here?
So that was the best way that I thought I could make this sad story seem not so sad, while still making the point.
But you and even then you still had moments where it still did get a little sad, which I think was useful. It was good to have those moments.
One of the audience members came to me as like, oh, but at the end when the guy just slaps the other guy, like just takes out the aggression, he's like, that felt so good. Because like we're so aware as like, you know, like temporary residents or something, like we can't do any of this, like we'll be deported right away. It's just like, it's just a scare moment, but like to be actually able to see someone do that for you where you wanted to do it as so many places, I think it just felt really good for them. Yeah.
You had it screen at VAFF. How has it been since MAMM last year, since the screening at VAFF? How's it been?
I think making this MAMM short gave me the confidence and the belief as an emerging filmmaker and as a very new writer and a director that like, as long as I'm putting my 100% into a story, as long as I'm doing it with, you know, a right intention and like showing people that I am totally 100% for it, there are people out there in the community, MAMM, that they will come together and like help you make your project. Yeah. And also that there is a demand for like stories like like
they're so different and haven't been told before.
Exactly. So people want to watch them. People want to watch more of them. And there's a bunch of people who came after, but like, what's the next thing? Like, is there something else you're doing that's similar? So I think that gave me the idea to like make a similar project that I'm like pitching. And I build that project. I pitched it to BAMF DOB program, and then
the Diversity of Voices program at BAMF, and you got selected this year.
Got selected. Yeah. Like you, so we're going together on June, and
we're going to road trip.
And it's doing some festival runs, so I think
that's amazing.
I'm gonna keep using that as my calling card, and then just keep building on top of that. So it just gave me a strong basic foundation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I think because I did 2 MAMMs, but Lauren in the Bathroom, which was my second one, actually, because it had a chance to be screened at VAFF. And actually, I don't know if you know this, on a separate side note, because you're a DGC member, the DGC Awards are coming up, and VAFF is one of the festivals that is listed as a recognized festival on the DGC Awards list. Oh, cool. So they literally just opened up the DGC Awards entries, so you can actually apply for it now.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. And so that unlocked actually a few things for me. Even though Lauren in the Bathroom was only a minute, it unlocked me applying to the Rogers BSO Development Fund. And so I got a grant to write a pilot script through the BSO. And that happened because my short was screened at VAFF. But yeah, no, I'm so excited for like seeing how much you've grown in the 1.5 years that I've known you, like seeing your name and being selected for all these different things, like for MAMM and now BAMF Diversity of Voices. And I'm just so excited to see like where you will be like next year, 5 years, 10 years from now.
I'll be directing the show that you're writing, maybe. We'll
Yeah,
see.
fingers crossed.